Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Woo! The crowd goes wild. Yay! I know we have people who are just now getting on, so just going to connect with you. If you're watching the replay at this point, which right now we're live, but you'd be watching the replay, then you get to have a little extra minute of us playing while we get other folks in here. I don't know you're live unless you comment, and this is very interactive and very excited, but let me bring on the one, the only Trish Carr, who is part of the reason why we are doing this today. So Trish, I'm bringing you on. 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one, the only Trish Carr of WPN, which is the Women's Prosperity Network. Hey,
Hi,
Trish.
everybody. Hi, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, yes.
I love when that happens. I love when a plan comes together. Look at everybody saying hi. Gail Dixon is here from Changemaker. Hey, Gail. Although we're awakening giants now, aren't we?
Yeah, something.
Yeah, lots of people are here. Who else is here? Nancy Matthews is here. Nancy Doobie, Barbara Stanley, Bob Doyle. Wonderful.
Rolanda Watts. Awesome, too, if you know Rolanda. Awesome. And we're just getting started, so this is going to be an amazing hour. But Trish, I'm going to turn it over to you, and then we're going to just work with everybody here, and I'm very excited, but I'll turn it over to you right now.
Well, I'm so happy, Lynn, that you were available to do this really quick. I know many of you just got notice of it this morning. Some of you got notice of it yesterday. But we were so thrilled and so honored to have you join us at our Business of Speaking boot camp here in Fort Lauderdale, the first weekend of December. And I have to tell you that I worked with those 40 entrepreneurs, business owners, people who are really going for it in their lives and know that speaking is the way to leverage their time, leverage their expertise, and really grow their businesses on a fast trajectory as opposed to talking to one person at a time, right? So they were all so thrilled. So for 3 days, Nancy Matthews and I worked with everyone in the room, and I have to tell you that you were there for 2 hours, and they couldn't stop talking about you for the entire 3 days. It was Lynn Rose is so incredible. She was so wonderful. So when you and I were talking last week, right afterwards, it just made sense that we continue this conversation because this skill of speaking is so important. So I'm so glad that all of you who are here with us today, took the time to play with us and play with Lynn Rose. She's going to share some valuable information, and then I want you to stay through this entire broadcast because we're going to be actually doing one-on-one coaching with some of you so that you can get the best presence for yourself and really get the message across that you want to get. So make sure you stay on the line, stay with us, stay engaged. This is a real good time. You feel free to eat your lunch, perfect if you're here on the East Coast, breakfast if you're on the West Coast, but just be fully engaged. Make sure you're taking some notes, have a place where you can write down your notes because Lynn is going to power you up and she's going to show you the power to wow, which is what it's all about.
You're awesome. The power to wow. Well, Trish, thank you so much. And I'm just going to add my little piece because I also have all my Facebook friends that are on here because we're doing this as a Facebook Live. We have some folks from the Awakening Giants TV documentary adventure transformation series that we're part of. Some potentially power women of NSA invited them to join us here, your Women's Prosperity Network. And it was incredible to do this work because this is something that I am driven to do. You guys will hear a quick little 1 minute, 2 minute maybe version of the story about that what we're doing right now was kind of impossible for me before, and now it's a whole other ball game. And I love being like little magic fairy dust with folks, like see them come to life, and see what's possible. And with clients, with Wow Mastermind, what's been able to happen when you can apply what I call the wow effect. And we're going to be experiencing that together. You're going to see it in action with folks that we'll bring on, but also with content that I'll share with you. And whether you are someone who is one-on-one interacted with or not, this is the type of thing that gets in your cells and stays with you. I've had people afterwards write to me and say they were just happened to be in the audience or happened to observe, but this one distinction or this one thing that they saw really shifted for them. And as a result, the next time they went to speak, it was there. So that's the power of what we're going to do in this hour and a half. And but because you love rock and roll and you love music, and I come, hey, Dean Hankey, all right, awesome. By the way, we do have people coming in. Wally Walters, let me say hi to some folks. Betsy Rossum, oh gosh, Betsy was with us on Awakening Giants and part of WPN. And gosh, Charlie Mace.
Charlie Mace, she runs our Women's Prosperity Network chapter with a co-leader, Diane, in Brevard County, Florida. So lots of the leaders from Women's Prosperity Network, many of the graduates from the Women's Prosperity Network certification program to be a certified speaker. So we have a fabulous audience, all of our Facebook friends, all of your Facebook friends. I love it when groups come together. Make sure you all connect with each other, because I promise you, each one of you is like-minded and like-spirited for sure.
That's so true. Same with what we have, if you're coming from Power Women of NSA, or we're going to have this replay broadcast to a group of masterminding women entrepreneurs in Israel. So, we're sharing all sorts of places. So, hey, Christine Myers. All right. So let's do this though, you guys at home. Clap along, because we're going to do a little bit of just a quick little song about being a wow maker and having a little fun here, because you got to have some fun. You got to break out of those shells, right? Let's kick off today. And feel free to go ahead and dance around, Trish, because I know how you love to do that. You never get nothing by being no angel child. You better change your ways and get your wow on high. I'm gonna tell you something, won't tell you no lie. Wow makers the only people that really get by, 'cause wow makers, don't worry, wow makers never get the blues.
Love it. Love it, sister. That was awesome.
All right. Well, we just had to have some fun with that. So let's now dive into what we're going to do on this Facebook Live. We'll keep this interactive. Definitely comment below. And from time to time, we'll make sure we check in on your comments. I'm going to go ahead and take you back into the lobby there, Trish, but I'll bring you back on at some point as well. So thank you, Trish. Round of applause for Trish. Woohoo! Woo woo. You can do that, be it yeses or hey, Trish in the comments or likes. I love seeing it interactive, so please do so. Also, you can click notifications for this post from next time I go live, so we can make sure we stay in touch. Okay? Get down, sister, says Dean. That's awesome. And Trish rocks. You are so right, Wally. Hi, Alvin. Hadn't seen for a while. That's right. So let's dive in. So what we just did there, and that was singing, but whether that's singing or speaking, I don't know what your level of where you are. You might be someone who I'll get out there and put myself out there, but I'm not really comfortable with it. You might be someone who it terrifies me. I would love to clear this out. Or you're someone who's great at it, but you want to go to that next level, that extra juicy level. And either way, what I'm going to give you in this next hour and a half, because we're going to work with people, so however long that takes once we get into working with folks, you're going to see, and you might want to consider if you want to be on the hot seat too, as you see what I'm about to share with you. But what I had experienced was impossible before. And I'm not going to go into the long story, but I come from the world of music and media and marketing and stuff from my past, along with some things that were current as a young adult. I was doing Broadway and all this, and suddenly caught up to me, and I got shut down. I'd been shut down from the outside, just from things as a young kid. But then when it caught up to me as an adult, I got shut down from the outside. I lost all ability to sing. I lost all confidence. I got racked with utter fears and nerves and negative thoughts that took my life over. And I had to leave the entertainment industry because I couldn't sing anymore. I lost all confidence. I was just locked up. And I don't know if you've ever felt that. You might not have ever felt that, but for those that relate in one way or another, I feel you. And it took me about 2 years to cocoon through it. But then I found my way through another place, from a place where I was letting myself, who I really was, be seen and connect truly from who I was to the other person, to my message, to an audience, to a camera. And as a result, from that point forward, things took off, and from a whole other place. Now I could really enjoy what I was doing too. I mean, I was good before because I had talent, let's say, but it was like a shell. And now it was just bursting forth. And I toured all around the world, opened for a lot of names, did a lot of TV and film. And then eventually, gosh, late 90s, a long time ago, started a syndicated radio show on personal achievement and got to work with the greats that I looked up to that had inspired me and helped me back when I was working through my own stuff, if you will. And now I am in that career and helping other people break through. And what I call the WOW effect, with what you're going to witness and see. WOW is an acronym for without walls. Without walls. What's possible when we can drop the barriers to our connection and fully connect from who we are with what our message is, what our branding is, what we're here to express and do and be and say, and stand fully in our power. And that's what I just love being able to bring in simple ways and ways that you're going to see happen in minutes. And Dean Hankey says, I use magic, performance and metaphor in my VIP, money-making marketing magic. Great. Hello, Sadiq, Sheree Martin. Okay, just wanted to make sure to connect with you guys. Okay, so let me just have some fun right now, and I'm going to hope that this works in the video. I'm going to share with you, and this is actually even an kind of opening that you can do. By the way, I'm going to share a little bit later as a bonus when we have some time, some 5 ways to open your videos or your speech that will capture your target market and keep them there. So let's play with that. And I'm going to show you before and after. This is from someone who was actually a one-on-one client. And you're going to see his before. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about him, and I'll pause it. And then I'll share the after. And now you'll see why this is so important, how you are positioned, how you connect, and how you speak. And then I'm going to back that up a little bit. And then we're going to give you some content, okay? So let me get some screen share one moment. It's taking its little sweet time here. Come on, baby. You can do it. There we go. Okay. There we are. Let me make that solo so you can see that. Now I'm going to go here. Okay. Let's play this and hope that you can hear it. This is the before, and then I'll tell you more about it. This is Dear DW.
Hi, I'm DW Star, and I'm the Change Doctor, and we're here at the NSA convention in Washington, D.C. And what I do is I diagnose and treat employees who work for sick companies. And those companies have tumor disease, downsizing, upsizing, merging, acquisitions, and rebranding. And those patients that I diagnose, those employees.
Okay, so how many people right now are already going, oh my gosh, I'm lost, what? And here's the thing to know is that, let's see, and you might, by the way, not be hearing the video completely clearly, but just enough to get the before and after, okay? Then we'll bring people on one-on-one once we get through some of this content. So DW, I met at National Speakers Association. And he was dressed as a doctor because he thought that's how he'll stand out. And, you know, you're going, what does he really do? What's this about? And it was a bit gimmicky, but he's a really sweet man. And we exchanged cards. And he later reached out to me and said he was looking for someone who can help him rebrand, get his message together, help him with his speaking and all of that. So we completely did an overhaul. And he is brilliant at sales. He's brilliant at all that he does, but you could not tell in that before. So now, how about the after? And here is, once we get this going, oh, by the way, I've got to do this full screen. A little bit clunky here, but that's okay. We'll make it work. There we go. Now let's see this. And this is his after.
What happens is they have changed this.
Jump ahead there. Come on now. DW after. Da, 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 da.
Did you know that 40% of the Fortune 500 companies that were around 10 years ago are no longer here? In today's rapidly changing world, that means if you're not changing, you're falling behind. Okay, you might say, let's tackle change. Bring it on.
All right, so I'm going to just stop it right there just so that we can connect. You get the point, right? The power of how you are positioned is everything, and how you're positioned, how you come across. And I don't mean manufacture it. I mean from this place that really makes impact. And as you can see, right now, today we are covering speaking, one of the number one skills. But that's an element of what I call the 5 power elements. I'm going to go through this fast. Your speaking, your positioning, your pitch, the power of the media that you create, and the power of the people you surround yourself with. And so when you have all that together, you take off in such powerful ways. And I've seen this again and again with the folks that I work with. And so we got to address all of that with DW. Now, the speaking even was different, no less his messaging. And we'll cover some of that messaging. Now, when I work with folks in my WOW Mastermind, we work on all aspects of it. Definitely speaking delivery, speaking messaging, your keynote structure, your everything. But and here we're going to focus in on your speaking delivery and some of your messaging, okay? Let me just show you another before and after that really shows the power of your speaking difference. This now is some gal spent thousands in a studio, and you're going to see what she came away with. And unfortunately, she had all the right media to support her, but her delivery and the way she connected was a turnoff. And you don't want to repel business. You want to attract business, right? By the way, please make sure you ask your questions or comment or interact so that I know you're here, I know you're engaged, or how it's translating for you. That really is awesome. Okay, so and then she came to me, or someone actually recommended she come to me, and then I worked with her in studio, and we're going to just show her before and after, and then what you see in the after happened in a matter of minutes. She showed up exactly like what you see in the before, but I play with her in the studio, and then you see the after. And that just happened in a matter of minutes, and that's what you're going to see today when we work with folks. So let's go find where she is. There she is. I need to share the screen with you, though. So one moment. Full screen. Back to our Sean Cox. Lovely, lovely lady. Here we go.
Property to make it saleable. Banks and lending institutions choose me to sell their REO properties because I have an excellent reputation with asset managers, real estate agents, and contractors. Have enough stress getting rid of these properties. Contact me today so I can be your solution.
That's how her video ended, you guys. But here's the after in studio. We just played with her.
Hi, I'm Sean Cox. I have 23 years experience selling real estate. I'm a third-generation realtor. I love real estate. So if you want the results I can provide for you, contact me and I'll get right back to you. I can get your property sold.
Ta-da! Oh my God, what a difference, right? Such a difference. Betsy, you say, what I do is serious, but I want to be more playful and fun as it's results of the work I do as well. Well, we can play with you on that. Hi, Bonnie. All right, just tuning in with you guys. But you guys can see why that's so important. Same lady, she does commercial real estate, but she was actually repelling business rather than magnetizing by how she showed up. And complete difference in that second video. And I'm going to share with you some of you're going to see in action even some of the ways to help break free of whatever might be in the way so that you can fully come forward with how you connect. All right. And then one more I'm going to share with you. And this to me is so important because so many folks in business, or even just if they're going to be a speaker and in front of people, have a little switch in their head that think, oh, I've got to be the expert. I've got to be the authority. It creates one of those barriers or walls that actually then creates a disconnect. And so then they show up very serious and like this and think that's going to have people take them seriously, think that's what's going to convey as conviction. And actually that is more of a disconnect. And it's a paradigm that exists out there in business, but is such a shame. because I'm just reading comments here. That is such a shame because, I did this work on Wall Street with venture capitalists, lawyers, financial, all the big financial biggies out there. And they were begging me to bring this to their industry, what I'm going to share with you today and the work that we do here, because they would have so many people coming in with exactly what I'm about to show you. And then they can't really feel anybody, but someone who shows up truly is who they are, being willing to really connect and not have all this other stuff in the way makes a massive difference. And they wanted it even for themselves because of the difference that can make in your pitch. And I'm going to back that up with some things that, in fact, I'm going to do that right now, because let's just dive right in with what Warren Buffett even says. And I'm going to do this solo so you can really see this. There we go. Warren Buffett says this one skill will boost your career value by 50%. And this is, you can see, out of Inc. magazine. And you can take a wild guess what that skill is, and it's public speaking. And it's because of the power of your pitch in business, or how you connect to clients, or when you're doing presentations. It's everything. And Warren Buffett himself used to have nerves or discomfort around speaking. In fact, debilitating fear, even canceled things because he didn't want to have to stand up and speak and do his thing. And then he went and got proper speaking help. And of course, it changed and shifted everything for his business. Now, another thing to share, and I'll do this it's from Inc. magazine as well. And it says, as an entrepreneur, a small business owner, you are only as valuable as your ideas. If you cannot persuade others to buy into your ideas, then they don't matter very much. Your ideas deserve to be heard. Make a commitment now to sharpen the one skill that can change your life and the direction of your business and raise your value by 50% almost immediately. So they're on the same page as Warren Buffett, clearly. So this next example also illustrates. Here is someone who was right in the moment. You're going to see, and this is out of when I would do WOW trainings live in person. And this happened in minutes. Again, it was live in person, and it initially showed up with this switch of watch me be an expert and you'll take me seriously, to then what you'll see in the after. Okay, so let's get going over to there. One moment. Okay, there he is, David. Okay. Are we playing? Yes, there we go.
You have to have the resources to buy the machinery. We went through the industrial age, we went into the information age. And the first aspect of that was telephony, okay? So that it was, if you look back in the 1960s, IBM had a tremendous competitive advantage because they could spend the hundreds of thousands of dollars it took for them to be able to communicate all over the world with their people. However, with the advent of the internet, it's now having the resources to be able to do telecommunications is not the competitive advantage. In fact,
all right, so you're kind of falling asleep yet? But all right, now here's the
So we all know here, right, that in fact, Jim Collins said, in terms of running a company, what we need to do is we need to get the right people on the bus, the wrong people off the bus, and the right people in the right seats. So we need the wrong people off the bus because they're going to infect the rest of them. In fact, what we refer to those people as is the onboard terrorists. We have to get the onboard terrorists out of our organization because otherwise they're going to bring everybody else down.
All right. So we can see why this is so important that you get the way you present yourself and position yourself to rock, because it changes everything. In fact, it's what I would call the wow effect. And I've seen this again and again with clients. I'm going to go ahead and share this. Is this solo? Yes. Okay, good. Just making sure. And I have seen this, not your speaking power, that alone, as we know from what Warren Buffett says, it is everything and how it's going to drive your business. But the self-worth that comes out of that, the confidence, how many deals you close. I had people leaving the WOW training, and then they said, I didn't expect it was going to have me impact my business and the way I even close deals. Because I had this chiropractor, in fact, and he came back and he said, oh my gosh, I had no idea. What's happening now is I'm having like a 90% closing rate or something. I forget what his rate was, but it skyrocketed. more sales, better relationships, actually, with some of what we're sharing here, what opens up for you. Promotions, we have people getting TV shows. I mean, and of course, filling up their clients. I mean, the people that have gone from struggling to now I even have clients that are at 6, 7, or even 8 figures, and they took off. One, in fact, Carrie Tepedino, I'm not going to show her now, but boy, she was such great work that she did, but she was struggling. And then once it all came together for her, the way the messaging, the positioning, how she came across, and we did the media for her too, she immediately filled up her coaching program. She got a call from the Chopra Center to have work with their high-end clients, which she'd been wanting. She also got a call from NBC or some well-known network that wanted her to be seen, potentially to be a TV show host for a program they had. She didn't get it, but I mean, that would have never happened without having all of this together. And now she's doing 7 figures in her business, and she was struggling to even pay bills or get anyone in her coaching program before. So that, there's a wide array of what's possible for you when you take this on. So now let's dive into the content, okay? And start thinking, if you want to come in to a hot seat and be worked with, and you have that bravery and that courage, and believe me, we'll make this a safe space, I'd love to be able to bring you on. So think about if you want to have some work done with you on your speaking ability, like what you're seeing here, what we saw before and afters, or even some of it can be around messaging while we're at it, okay? Then just start thinking about that. But we're going to now dive into the content. And then we're going to start playing with you and share some other content along the way in action. Because as also you'll see, number 1 is being in action. It's great to absorb all of this. Then you've got to implement. You've got to put it into action. Move it forward. And I'll share with you ways to do that, okay? And it's simple. But let's talk about the philosophy of what is the foundation for what's going to create that wow effect for you. So the 3 C's, and we're going to talk through that. By the way, I love seeing your comments. So, Betsy says, love to be in the hot seat. Okay, Betsy, cool. So the 3 C's. And the first C is the number 1 foundation to everything, and that is connection. Connection leads. Connection is king. Connection's the root of everything in the universe, really. And I love, Brendan Burchard, years and years ago, and I know him since the beginning for him and beginning for me. And I remember he did a whole campaign, and he was talking about connection is the number 1 driver, and it is. It drives everything. So what I mean by that when I say connection is, if you think about that UCLA communication effectiveness study, and I know there's been some controversy around it, as there's other studies that show different results, but the study shows that out of your communication effectiveness, only 7% is based on the actual words you say, and the remaining 93% is your body language and your tonality, basically the energy of who you are. Now with other studies, they found it's more like 80-20, and there's other studies that back this up as well. But if you think about it, people are connecting to the energy of who you are first. That is the engine driving everything. And the words follow and the content follows. And you want to have brilliant content. You want to have that be a driver with you. But if you as the engine aren't connecting with that, the words will get left behind or won't make the same impact. And there's plenty of studies that prove that. And thanks, Trish is cheering on Betsy in the comments below. Awesome. There's another study, and they had 2 speakers in front of the same audience. The first speaker was brilliant, but he was very professorial. He was like David that you saw in the other video. And he just spoke very, very, straightforward and monotone and talking like this, very much in his head, intellectual, but brilliant content. All right. And then the second speaker was connected. He was charismatic. He was passionate. He was convicted. He was playful. He was like your best friend, entertaining. I mean, there's all these wonderful things that you ideally want to have as elements when you speak, right? However, if you were to look at a transcript of what he was actually saying, you would see that it was really saying a lot of platitudes. It was really like not much they was actually saying. But they asked the audience an interesting question afterwards. They did not ask the audience, who did you like the most? Who did you trust the most? Who did you connect with the most? Who would you buy from? Who entertained you the most? What all these aspects that are important in the impact that you'll make when you speak. But they asked the audience, who did you learn the most from? Who did you learn the most from? And do you know that 70% of the audience said it was the second speaker, the man who really didn't have much that he was saying, compared to the man who was brilliant, but was going over people's heads and wasn't landing. And what a crime, because that first speaker had brilliant content, but it was getting lost. It wasn't making that kind of connection. And so you want to have both. You want to have that engine of connection, and you want to have content that backs it up. But number one is that driver is connection. All right. So that's the first C. The second C is conversation. This is huge. This is like what you saw with that video example with David. You want it to be like a conversation with your best friend, or even if it's someone that you met because it's a client that you're courting, or in a presentation of folks you don't know. You want it to be like it's a conversation. That immediately will create that connection and rapport. It also immediately creates authenticity. It is authenticity. and that's what's going to free you up. When you can get past that switch that's in your head that says, I've got to be an expert. When you can get past that switch that's in the head that says, watch me be an authority, because now I'm in front of people speaking, so I have to add this extra layer, which actually puts a layer barrier between you and the audience. When you can let that go, and just speak as you, and as a conversation, like you're hanging out in the lobby bar having a Perrier or whatever you're having with someone you're talking about a business after an event, or one of your best friends. That conversation feeling will free you up, and you'll experience this with folks that we'll work with, and you've seen it in action already. Okay? All right. Now the third C, I'm going through this fast because you're going to see it in action. So that's, let's get to experiencing it. The third C is contact, C-O-N-T-A-C-T. And what I mean by contact is two things. When you are in front of a live group or audience, what most people tend to do is they look around because they want to make sure everyone feels like they're included. So they're looking around. But that diffuses your focus and their focus. Actually, what's more connecting and will make your focus solid and theirs is you look through one pair of eyes at a time, eye contact. So the whole audience is coming through one pair of eyes at a time, and you have a conversation with that one person in the audience. Then you go to another person in the audience, and you have a conversation with that one person in the audience. Then another person and that one person in the audience, and you hold that contact. Then you can maybe scan the audience and go to another person. But when you're looking around and darting around and then looking around like that, that diffuses your focus versus truly connecting. And even though you're looking over here, the person here is going to feel like you're talking to them because you're so truly connected from that place. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. And when you see this in action, it's mind-blowing. This one distinction alone can shift everything in your speaking. Bruce Turkel, who's an amazing branding expert and well celebrated in NSA and speaking all over the world, he did a WOW workshop that I did for Florida chapter of NSA years ago. And I ran into him years later. And he'd never even been coached. He just watched it in action. But he watched the power of the difference in eye contact. and he said that ever since he adapted that, it completely elevated the power of his speaking, the power of how he felt when he spoke, and the power of the response and impact. And he said that one distinction has been carrying him ever since. And I thought, wow, That's really cool. Because I didn't even know what he was getting or not. He was in the audience. I knew who he was and respected him, but hearing that years later was really awesome and powerful. And that's possible for you and what we're going to do today too. Bob says, I'm not that good at this piece. I tend to be a darter though and it's huge. That's right. It is. And you've seen this too, Bob. Bob has seen when we've been able to shift the way the power of focus is, what happens. Okay, so those are the 3 C's. 1, connection, which is the driver and the engine for everything. 2, which is conversation, like having a conversation with your best friend. And 3 is contact. Now, the other aspect of contact is when you are speaking on video and how you relate to the camera. Now, what happens is there's people who are great, let's say, if they're talking in front of people, but then the camera comes on. If that's you, type yes. Type yes, because I know some brilliant speakers. I know a speaker who makes 6 figures almost every time he speaks, like that huge, and he speaks around the world. And I was hired to be a host for an infomercial with him. And I've seen him on stage. He is electric. He's amazing. That's why he gets such powerful results. And then I was hosting this TV infomercial for him, for his brand. And I was shocked. It dropped. It went away. That juice of who he was gone. I'm like, whoa, where'd that go? And it was because he had this thing about a camera versus a live audience. So a lot of people have that. Nancy says yes. Cherie says yes. Betsy Ross, says yes. So that's normal, just so you know. And, you've got to kind of, in a way, create in your imagination that audience there. Like, for instance, right now, I am facing the marina in a friend's apartment that I'm staying in. I'm house sitting for her while she's gone to Australia. Actually, you may know her, Natalie Ledwell of My Movies. Amazing, amazing gal. And I'm looking at my computer. But am I really looking at my computer? No, I am looking at you. I am looking at that little dot, or my image that's right underneath the dot. And I can feel you. And I think about you. And I think about the various folks watching. And in fact, if anything, I almost look like it's a funnel going into this camera and then a funnel going out. And there's the audience. And when you can funnel the energy that way, now that's a little bit conceptual, but do your best to think of that. Other things you can do is put one person that you'd be talking to, whether that's your best friend, someone in the family, or that client that's become a dear friend that you love, or that person you so want to serve with the work that you do. And if you need to, put a picture right above the little camera thing here or right next to it, to remind you that's who you're talking to, and just feel into their face and their heart and your heart into their heart. Okay, and I'm going to share with you Speak Formula and other things, and you'll see in action as we coach folks, techniques that you can use to click into this as well. But contact, it's not glass and metal and a camera. It's that person you're talking to. I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to my computer. Here, by the way, just for fun, here is the view that's right on the other side of the computer, right? Nice view. But that's not who I'm talking to. I'm talking to you, right? So say with you when you are on there. So Ellen McDowell says, I think of the camera as looking my audience in the eye. It becomes a face to me. Exactly. Perfect, Ellen. Bob Doyle says, I'm the opposite. Yes, Bob absolutely feels like he's in his element in the camera. And then when he's in front of people, feels very different. And maybe that's you as well. And a way that's going to anchor you is that contact piece where you just look into one person's eyes at a time. And that's what will free you up. All right. So now let's play. All right. Ellen McDowell's a video rock star. Awesome, Trish. Okay, great. Now I'm going to make sure, see if this works. I hope so. I'm going to write on here. Oh, boy. How do you copy and paste this link? I do not know. Here is a link. You guys, I do not know how you would copy and paste that in order to join. Is there a way I can just bring people on when I want to, Bob? Let me see. I wanted to just click on, well, Trish is already in here. How do I comment? If I could comment, and I know, Bob, I'm going to send this to you, Bob, and then if you could post this in the chat, that way people can copy and paste if they want to come into the hot seat. I didn't realize that I had this little glitch of knowing how to be able to get that happening for you guys. 1 second. I'm going to email that to you, Bob. Okay. Hopefully you're there and helping with this. I'll also do to Trish. So that way, one way or the other, we'll have this link posted, copied and pasted and put in here. I'll do to Nancy too. Okay. Ta-da. Okay, great. And if need be, I can try to message you privately to do it. Put it in the comments. I know, Ellen, I'm trying to figure out how to get to the comments. It might be the way my computer is not letting me, I can barely see your comments, and it's not letting me reach where I can put a comment in. That's why I'm kind of, yikes. So I just now sent this to Bob, and so Bob will hopefully put it into comments. You think it's a clickable link? Oh, I'll put it back. If it's a clickable link, that's great. So you guys go ahead and click that link then. Oh, there's Betsy. Thank you. And Betsy, if you want to join, so you say you want to be in the hot seat, let's do it, girl. And here's what I want to let you guys know. Think about for yourself, because I want to work with more than one person. We're going to do this fast. And as we go along, we'll do the speak formula. Now, Betsy has seen me work with folks. She knows about the speak formula. So, we'll revisit that, because it's always great to anchor it in and anchor it in. All right. And again, the work that we're going to do here comes out of the wow work that I do with folks. And I invite you, if that's something you want to check out, we're going to be doing 90 days of diving deep into your messaging, into your speaking ability and delivery, your keynotes, your signature process, how you get positioned, all of that, so that you are just off and running, like you saw in our before and afters, or what's possible for you. And you can check that out at a special offering, which is a link that's only for friends and family. So it gives you 30% off, and also gives you a one-on-one bonus. So if you want to check that out, that's at wowyoursuccess.com. I want to just say this real quick while we get Betsy in the room, okay? Wowyoursuccess.com. It should be saying wow your success. There you go. Wowyoursuccess.com. And then this is what you'll see when you get there. And then just go ahead and scroll through everything that we've got for you. And then this is where you can go ahead and go for the special link with the discount. Okay. I'm going to come. Oh, you're not even seeing this. I'm showing you something you're not seeing. That's hilarious. Anyway, go to wowyoursuccess.com if that's of interest to you, so we can work together. I wanted to say that while we had a moment, and I think we've got Betsy. All right, I'm going to get this. I don't know how to hide that comment. Okay, good. Let me get Betsy in here. Let's see. Betsy's coming any moment. Start thinking about for you. Hi, Betsy.
Hi.
Yay. All right.
And remember to look at the camera and not at you.
That's right. That's right. Unless I'm right under the camera, then you can, you can fudge that a little bit, but it is helpful when you look at the camera. There's a different kind of connection that happens. But, I'm just saying this again to start thinking for folks that are on here live with us. If you want to get into the hot seat like Betsy, kudos to you. You go, girl. Because it takes something to put yourself out there. But you'll see that I'm all about positive reinforcement and having you break through from a positive, empowering place. This is a sandbox. So anything that's done here is all good. This is where we explore. We have full freedom to play. Okay, so I want you all who might be watching, might be considering, I want to come on and play with how my speaking delivery is, or how my messaging is, or what way I can break free. And then we can work together. Oh, Sharon, is that you? Would you like to be next on the docket? Yeah? Okay, we got someone in line. We have room for another person if you want to get into the lobby on hold. So that's great, but think if that's for you. All right, so Betsy Love, I actually already kind of know your story, which is just like, but your spirit of who you are and how you've navigated through all you've navigated is amazing. Because of time, we can't like super deeply immerse as I would love to and want to and normally would in coaching someone one-on-one, or if we had more time, like within the WOW Mastermind and things like that. But for right now, you want to laser to the point of what you want support with or help with right now, and then whatever aspects that are relevant as we work on it.
Thanks. When I was taking notes, and I really like the beginning of "Did you know?" and you give a statistic, because I have a tendency not to do that. I go right into the seriousness, and that's not where I want to start, because the work I do changes that seriousness. It changes who, the state of pain or grief or hurt. It allows you to work through that process and come out and be joyful, radiant, and happy. And that's what I've experienced. That's what my clients experience. And so I want to start out on a more positive note.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So let me just back it up a little bit. And by the way, I'm just going to put this in here so that folks are aware. In fact, let me put your name, Betsy Rossum. There we go. So when you normally start, where have you normally started?
Identifying their pains and things like, are you tired of living in fear of what might happen tomorrow, feeling guilty about your past, you struggle with focus, clarity? Are you overwhelmed with all the things that you have to do? Isn't that a common feeling that we might have regrets in our lives? And, that's, really, it's like, who wants to listen to that?
Well, you don't want to sound like an infomercial, and everyone's style is different. I do want to make very clear that there is no one template or one way to do anything. That's part of what I think the WOW effect is about throwing all that out. There's things that can help guide you, like starting with a question or a statistic, if that's right and appropriate for you, that can help. But there's no one right way. So I really want to make sure that's clear coming from me, but also in one's thinking. And what we can get stuck in thinking we have one right way. And so that you just made me think I want to bring this point up. It goes beyond what you just said, Betsy, okay? But what often can tend to happen, and this comes including in how we think about how we're going to come across when we speak, is we feel like we only have one way that we're going to hit it and nail it. And that creates this constriction and tension. And next thing you know, you're like locked up like this because you're trying to hit that one target. Can you feel how that feels? Yeah. So restricting. Whereas when there's a million ways it could come out in the moment, a myriad of ways. And when you allow that to emerge as you really are coming from that authentic, connected place, it'll surprise you even what comes out. And so I share that because it's the same in speaking, to recognize that we're not having this one thing we have to hit. It's kind of tapping into that zone that then runs the show, that you don't even think, you take the thinking out of it. It runs for you. And for you, Betsy, your message comes from a very, I don't know if you want to share this part or not, but from a very deep heart place. And I don't know if that's something you're comfortable sharing or not about.
Yeah, I am. And I'm at the point in my life where a year and a half ago, my youngest daughter was killed by a drunk driver. And one of the blessings, because every day I find more blessings in it, one of the blessings is that in retrospect, she and I had a very complete relationship and there were no regrets. And how profound that is, and that, we're living in a society today where we're so focused on multitasking and all this other stuff that we're not focused on the now. And how many people losing someone they love quickly and instantly can actually say, I don't have any regrets. And what a huge gift that has been for me. And every day I find more gifts. And so for me, the work I've done in changing any limiting beliefs that I have, and being able to walk this journey, accepting the sadness when it comes, knowing it's part of the releasing process, but being able to still live in joy, because that's what she would want. Betsy, look at the camera. Thank you. Yeah, that's what she would want. So for me, it's about releasing limiting beliefs that would have kept me under the covers in bed, not being who I am, and sharing the radiance and joy that I have been in the past. So,
wow. By the way, if you could turn down your audio you're listening to just a little bit so we don't hear feedback, or if you have headphones, that'll help.
I don't have headphones, and I'll turn my audio down a little bit. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. I can still hear a little bit, but it's not overwhelming, so that's great.
Thank you.
Betsy, look at the camera. Karen said, by the way, I wasn't seeing people's comments because, again, whatever reason, on Be Live, I see one comment at a time, and then it doesn't scroll as the comments come in. So mute the Facebook feed. I don't know what that means, Trish. But I'm going to do my best to follow along with comments. If I missed your comment, though, because you had some really great comments as you were speaking, Betsy. If I miss your comment as we're going through this, just know we'll go back and make sure we can acknowledge that. Okay. Oh, that was for Betsy. Trish was saying mute your Facebook feed. Okay, good.
Yeah, I have Facebook off. I'm only on the Believe TV right now.
Okay, great. Perfect. Linda was dropping in some ideas for you, but I want to move forward with some ideas I have as well. Okay. Candace Burton, awesome. Thank you. And Trish, thank you for supplying what you did. Okay. So as you were sharing, and this often happens, we don't realize when we can just take away the specter of I've got to present something or I've got to do something, and then we just start speaking about it. Often it'll just come out of our mouth, and it was beautiful what you shared and what you positioned. And it was a really powerful call to action for living, really, just now as you were sharing. And so I'm one, and I get that you want to start from a more positive place. And one of the things you said, and that's kind of really what everything's centering around, is no regrets, right? Mm-hmm. What's the name of your business, by the way?
My business name is Total Life Solutions, and I named it that because of my background in home economics. There's a whole lot of skills that I have, and went on to get my master's in mental health. But my focus, I have a global message about living totally present that has shifted to that since my daughter's death.
Got it. Is no regrets a message you have well interwoven within your branding and everything?
Yes, I'm in the process of the statement is living totally present gifts us with a life of no regrets.
Okay, great. Okay.
And I just did a webinar with the word gift.
Okay, great. So, and I'm giving possibilities, and there's many possibilities. Oh. What's going to count is what's resonant for you, and we can play with it too, okay?
Okay.
But you could be doing something where, imagine for a moment how life would be, how life would feel if you had no regrets, literally zero regrets, and like maybe you started that way, right?
Okay.
Tune them in, and then maybe you already have no regrets, but maybe somewhere, if you were to go back in the files of your memory or something, there's something that lives there, or could it be that you are, and then now you start talking about potentially too busy, and what happens is we did it and we miss out with our folks. I'm jumping ahead because I don't want to take the time to repeat some of what you already said. And then you share your story, right?
Right.
And you can share your story initially as a little what's the word, taste, or a little bit context, and then later go deeper into it. That helps really super illustrate. Does that make sense?
Perfect.
So did you want to try that? Just see what that's like? Not even think that you're speaking. Literally just say it to me.
Okay. I gotta look at the camera.
Yeah.
Imagine what it would look like or feel like if you had no regrets. Not one. Look back and file through that information highway in your brain that you have, and think about any little regret you may have and what life would feel like if none of them were there. Wouldn't that be totally freaking awesome?
That's awesome. And I'm going to just add a little, by the way, in the sandbox, in the play box, or whatever you want to call it. I don't like the word box. So in the sand area here where we're playing, I just want to offer, Mario, he said, hey lady, God bless, sending you a little love there. So just to elevate. So that was wonderful, beautiful. I could feel your heart. I felt you connecting with me. It's great. Started thinking about regrets. Barbara Starley just wrote powerful. Here's another way to just even elevate it a little bit more. So all of them were really feeling to me, and take away any aspect where you're thinking of, imagine life with no regrets, which now sounds infomercially. You didn't sound infomercially. I'm just saying, can take that out of that potential feeling of that. And have you, and now try this on as if you're really truly talking to me. And this is a technique for everybody, by the way. When you are doing this on camera, practice on camera. And I had to do this when I was doing TV hosting back in the day, especially when I was still trying to get out of my shell and fully letting who I was out. And it's a constant process. It's a never-ending life process of unlayering and unlayering, and the next layer and the next layer, by the way. You're never ever fully done. But I remember in the TV hosting, I was just old-fashioned, typical, stereotypical TV host. Hi, welcome to E! Channel. And now we're going to da-da-da-da, just like so over the top. And I was being worked with to be able to free myself of that so I could be more natural, which nowadays TV hosting has completely shifted from the old school style to now really conversation. And one of the ways they had me do it was think of that one person and at that camera, and I put my little sister Molly, and then it could be anybody, your best friend, it could be, again, that ideal client, whatever that is. And they had me think about her, and they even had me say out her name out loud. So I was really talking to her, and then remove the name. And that's something that one can do, and I'm saying this for everyone watching, that you can do as you go to practice. So you start finding what that's really like to talk like a conversation. So for instance, you could say, so Lynn, can you imagine, just try to imagine for a moment what it would feel like to have a life with no regrets. Can you feel into what that would feel like? And maybe you already feel that way. Or even if you do, maybe there's some area where you, and whatever, blah, 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 right? Okay, so, and right, Lynn? So just kind of like putting your name in with me. Oh, Sharon, come back if you can. We'll still bring you on, girl. She was in the holding center and she left, but I want you guys, if you want to come join us, maybe Trish, you can put that link in again so we have someone on standby. So Betsy, do you get what I'm saying? If you want to try that. So try that again. What you did was beautiful. So this was only just another way to elevate for you. So just try that again.
So do you want me to use someone's name?
Yeah, or use my name as if you're talking to me. Because really, right now you are talking to me.
Are, yeah. Hi, Lynn. Can you imagine? Can you really imagine what life would be without any regrets? Think about how your life has been and what kind of regrets you may have had, or maybe you haven't, but I think all of us might have at least one. How would that feel into what that would feel like to have a life without regrets? Just imagine, and how wonderful that would be. To be living really, really now, embracing every single moment, and how absolutely precious that would be for us.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And then from there, you can now go to the problem too. From there, you could go to the issue is most of us, or too many of us, we get caught up in the day-to-day in life. And next thing you know, we're overly busy trying to answer that email, get on this phone call. We don't have time to be with our family. We don't have time to, tell the people we love them, whatever. However you might, now illustrate the problem. And you can still share it in that fun, playful way.
Yeah.
There's this thing, and it kind of gets in the way between you and the person.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. This is how we look. How many
right.
times do people take pictures of you looking like this?
Right. And then from there, you could be saying, and thank God, even though my life was busy, even though I didn't let that get in the way of fully connecting and loving and being with my daughter and absorbing every moment. Because unfortunately, blah, 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 and then she in an instant, but I'm able to stand here in front of you, even though I still feel the pain, I still blah, 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 to know that I have no regrets. Because she knew how much I loved her and I knew how much she loved me. And we made that time and we played full out. And that's what I wish for everyone in all areas of your life. And that's what I stand for and blah, 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 blah. And then you can have your, if you have your process or your 3 points that help people connect to no regrets or whatever that might be, now move forward to that.
Yeah.
Is that helpful?
Very, very, very helpful. Because see, I had this speech and I was trying to, and it's not me. And I have such a good connection that I get downloads. And when I speak from that place, it doesn't compare to this stuff that I've written.
Yeah, I hear you. And when you can, and this is part of the wow effect, right? Mm-hmm. The wow effect is without walls. And a wall in the way is when you're trying to put yourself or constrict yourself into a framework that maybe in the moment something else is showing up that feels right. Now, a framework is helpful. A framework can help guide. A framework, like we even did somewhat of a framework just now. We had a leaping off point, right? But we still have freedom to play within there. Now, some people like to have every single word charted out, and then they connect to the freedom once they have those words fully in their body, which if you were there when we did the Women's Prosperity Network speaking thing for Trish and Nancy. And one of the things because you were already there, but I think this is useful for people who weren't. And you're already in your body as you speak. But many people don't realize they're in their head and they're not in their heart or in their body. and so to really get freed of our mind that gets taken to trying to remember the words, a way to do that is you practice kind of dancing and moving your body like this with those words again and again and again ad nauseum, which, it's going to make you tired, but it puts it into your body. And now it's just there. And you were with Change Makers, also known as Awakening Giants, our TV documentary series with speakers and change agents for the world. And we do like a TED Talk thing. And I had worked with a patent attorney who had never spoken before. And she came across normally like just da-da-da-da-da-da like that, like dead. And we had to bring her to life and doing this, moving the body and practicing this way. And we're going to share the speak formula. I'm going to share that in a moment. And doing the speak formula with her, it completely shifted. Now, she had every word memorized. That's the way she wanted to do it, also to make sure she could stay to time. And as a result, it was she totally lit up the stage, right, Betsy? I mean, she was.
She did. And you could not tell she wasn't she couldn't tell that she hadn't spoken before. She was amazing and very. It was great. It was terrific. You couldn't tell that she was anxious or fearful or anything. She really did a great job.
Awesome. Yeah. Hey, wait, by the way, let me bring on Trish. Trish, I'm going to bring you on just so you can connect with Betsy before I, and also Barbara, says she'd love to be on the hot seat. If you scroll through the comments, Barbara,
Hey.
Trish put in the link that you need to hit. Hey, Trish.
Hey. Hey, I'm thinking I could put the link in one more time. Let me go ahead and do that while I can.
Okay, that's great.
Got it.
Yay.
Perfect. So Betsy, you are so awesome. When you first of all, you connect with people so well just because of who you are.
Thank you.
But when you really were sharing, it immediately you grab people. So trust yourself, and remember to smile. That's the key, right?
Yeah. Perfect. And you did. You were really feeling into, and we'll talk about that because that's part of the Speak formula, actually, is smile, one of the main pieces.
Smile.
People come up against that when it comes to something difficult to say or tough to say. But we'll talk about that in a moment. But you did that because that's, what you have to share is a little bit tough to say, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Say it from the place of hope, with the place of what's possible on the other side, and say it with compassion and heart. It can then allow people in to really feel it and actually feel it even more. So anyway,
people connect with us emotionally. So that's the first thing that you attempt to do, and you do it so naturally. Some of us don't have that ability to do it as naturally as you do. Because remember, people connect, people are influenced by emotion more so than the logic. So that's what you're getting at, is that emotional feeling. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Yes. Awesome. Thanks. All right, Trish, I'm going to put you back into the lobby. As I say.
All right, we have a couple people. We had Barbara Starley sign up. She wants to get in the hot seat.
Awesome. Great. And love to Betsy. Hopefully she'll just come right back in. And Mario says, Betsy, you did a great job. I could feel it when you were talking. Blessing. Great. All right, Barbara, I'm going to bring you in. And then we're going to cover the Speak formula, you guys. Hi, Barbara.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Let me get your number. Like, if you could tilt the camera so your head's at the top of the screen a little bit more, that'd be great. And I want, I can feel so much more of you. I want to also bring that forward for folks that do Facebook Lives, which you should do for business. No matter what business you do, you should be out there doing Facebook Lives, even if you sell chocolate. Chocolate Johnny from Australia has now become worldwide famous because he did live streams showing behind the scenes the chocolate, how they make chocolate, and talking stories about chocolate and all that. Anyway, when you do video, you want to have your head at the top of the screen so we can feel more of your face and have that focus there. But anyway, you were a great example for that. And you probably just had it because you were watching the screen. You weren't being as videoing, but it was a great reminder for me to share that with people. I also did want to share real quickly, I'm going to do this because of just our timing right now. I want to make sure folks know, and I didn't get to do this before. So I'm going to take a quick little pause here, Barbara. All right. Okay. And solo this. Come on over here. This is what I was trying to have you guys see. This is wowyoursuccess.com. Make sure you guys are seeing that. Yep. There we go. Wowyoursuccess.com. And you'll see this here, and this is where if you want to dive inside for 90 days, put all of what we're seeing here in action. This is a friends and family link, so you get 30% off, and with this friends and family link, you get a bonus one-on-one session with me. You can see all this here. And right now, what's also extra great, this is wowyoursuccess.com. Wanted to make sure that you knew that was there, and I can bring us back. Ta-da! Oops, there we go. And then right now, too, we're doing bonus live sessions of hot seats and answering questions before we kick it off in January for 90 days, deep diving into all aspects so that you super launch. And it's absolutely shifted people's speaking and them getting bookings and how they put themselves out there, finding their brand, their messaging. So definitely want to make sure y'all know about that. And if you want to be in that vortex together, and a vortex of amazing folks as well, that's for you. So now, about you, Barbara. And what we'll do is we'll start a little bit, and then I want to share the Speak formula, and then we'll continue on in whatever way to best support you, okay?
Okay.
So what way can I support you?
So I am a CPA and a QuickBooks Pro advisor. I don't do taxes. I don't do bookkeeping. I actually just do QuickBooks setup, training, troubleshooting for small businesses. I started a Good Steward Church Academy, and at the speaker event, actually announced that I would do a Good Steward Small Business Academy. So I guess what I'm really looking for is what do I do as like a signature talk, and how narrow do you get in that talk when you're trying to get them into the academy, into the webinar series?
Interesting. Okay. That's an involved question, but we'll do our best in a in a hot situation. But that's so cool. But I'd love to also as well, Barbara, is work with you a little bit on speaking delivery too, just to find that on.
Please.
Because we'll put it into action, not just talk about messaging, but put that into action.
Perfect.
So let me just take some notes too, because normally I take notes on computer, but I don't want you to hear the click, 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 click. So I'll take notes. Okay. So you're a CPA and the Business Academy, you said?
Yeah. So the Business Academy, I'm a Christian, so I wanted to go from so the academy that I'm doing right now is called the Good Steward Church Academy.
Uh-huh.
And it was recommended to me that I could do a Good Steward Small Business Academy.
Okay.
So kind of the same concepts, but just kind of, excuse me, taking, the approach of, you're doing your work for God's glory, and your book should reflect that, and your business should reflect that if you're people of integrity, et cetera. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
And my hang up has been up until now that accounting is a boring subject compared to getting on stage and talking about marketing or talking about, fitness or life skills. And so how do you make that interesting? And I mentioned that to you at the speaker thing, and you said something about metaphors, and I wasn't quite sure what you meant by that. So I just, so I'll get on the hot seat and ask you.
Good. Okay. So, God, I had several questions for you. So why do you think it's boring? Because you're talking about getting your books handled in order to stay in alignment with having your books be congruent with the purity and integrity of how you live your life every day and with God. Is that basically?
Yeah, I think just the topic of accounting in general, people would go, oh my gosh, that's the last thing I want to talk about.
Of accounting in general, except that, let's put it this way. For me, I'm probably one of your target audiences, right? Because I get that if I want my business to rock, if I want my life to feel more in flow and solid and confident, when I can know my books are in order, there's this freedom, this engine that it becomes. When I can know my books are in order, I feel an integrity within myself. And when my books are in order, if we want to go in the God direction, that's keeping your house in order. That's, allowing God to do it, work through you. So now it positions it. Now it shifts it into this thing that I'm going to want to do. And you can even bring up, now again, like a conversation, be transparent. Say, we all look at our books and we think, oh my God, this is boring. These details make my head explode. I want to run away. And the problem is you do that, and now your books aren't being congruent. You aren't feeling grounded. You aren't in alignment and having the clean house with God, or however you want to position it. I'm speaking like your language, But if you brought that forward, you're positioning it, and I don't mean this from a manipulative place. I mean it in you're helping them give the perspective and understanding the importance and value that it is. But you first have to believe that yourself. And I can just tell you, as your target market, it's true. It's so true. Okay. So now you're going to help them see and understand that. And you're going to be speaking to people who are already caring about living a life that's most aligned with God, right?
Okay. Right.
And a key piece that many miss is those finer details of how we run our books and run our business. And when we can run it in a way that's congruent, it not only supports us in our business, it's also in alignment with God, so God can do its work through you even more powerfully. And I'm just riffing.
I like that. Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's kind of actually what I needed to hear, I guess.
Good. And this is recorded, so you can go back and replay this,
I love that.
be able to take whatever type of key points there that you might want to, because it's new and fresh for you. And one thing I know, by the way, and for you, for everybody, for me too, when we're inside the jar, we can't see the outside of the label so well. I know so well how to message and brand folks or have them get their signature to all that stuff. But when it comes to myself, I'm like, because I'm inside it and covered with, so I know the value of getting that feedback or that connection and reflects it back in a way that we might not be able to see it because we're so inside it.
Okay.
But hopefully that helped reflect back to you. I think it's powerful. I think if you position it that way and lead that way, I get this. I wish I had gotten this point years ago. Where I'd be in my career and my business is a whole other ball game if I'd had that point. Seriously.
Right.
And I just got through a year long process of 3 tax year audits too. So I know books inside and out. And also finding out books weren't done right, from previous CPAs. And so anyway, I'm just saying it is important. And you get to be that link that can help truly change people's lives. It might feel boring, and you can even say it feels boring. It feels like, with the details. But trust me, the freedom it's going to give you, the ownership, the power it's going to give you, and take away whatever potential pain for if things got wrong, if you got audited, you're like, that's fine, because we're good, So it gives you that peace of mind too. Anyway.
Love that.
So did you want to try on speaking about it? Don't worry about the points being right or whatever.
Okay.
Just have a conversation with me I found out about what you do, or you're going to tell me about what you do. I just met you in church, whatever that. Okay. And then just share about that. And then we'll see how that comes out. And then I'll play with you with the speak formula and let folks know that we'll do the speak formula.
Okay. So, right. So you would have asked me what I do. So I'm a CPA. I don't do taxes. I don't do bookkeeping. So most people ask, what do you do? I'm a QuickBooks trainer. I do QuickBooks setup, training, troubleshooting, and I just try to keep things really super simple for my clients. Because I know that.
Stop you for a moment. I'm so sorry. Because I love diving inside and hearing. We all do. I want to hear more, right?
Okay.
But I want to help you right now shift what you're saying about that. You said I'm a QuickBooks trainer. But what if and I'm not saying to come up with some set, pat phrase, which some people can do, but to position it more in that I help people get their books in order so that their life is in order and they're in alignment with God and feel that peace of mind, that freedom, and that power that comes with having everything in order with your books. And I do that through QuickBooks training, through da-da-da. And I'm on a mission because I've seen far too many people end up having their businesses impacted or slowed down or whatever. You can now bring up the problems part of it because you know that inside and out. Okay, so just start again. Share from that place.
Okay, so I help people really get a handle on their finances so that they can live a life that's simpler, easier, that it flows with who they are and what they do, and really getting their life in order from financially, but it flows into all areas of their life. Something like that? Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, we'll play with how you might say it. What I want to do now is some speaking delivery coaching because you're here on the hot seat, even though you were doing more around messaging and positioning. Let's just do some of that too. Now, what was great is you had the smile. Okay.
Okay.
really important, especially when you're talking about a quote unquote boring topic, which this isn't. It only becomes boring if you think it is boring. You can bring it to life by how you position it or why it's important or what the power of what it is and how you deliver it, right?
Okay.
Let's talk through the speak formula. So, and if someone who's in the chat, hey, Sherry, by the way, Sherry Rose, tell Mark Donnan, I thought he meant 9 p.m. tonight, not 9 a.m. I saw that he called right when I started. And that's our UK friend I'm doing a project with, and she just commented. So just let him know, I thought it was 9 p.m., not 9 a.m. All right, so back to us. Speak formula, S is for smile when you talk.
Okay.
Number one, smile when you, I say number one, but meaning that is so key. There's a great speaker, Andy Andrews, and I've shared the stage with him a couple of times, and you might know him because he's well known in the Christian community too. But we were for a bunch of financial professionals, MDRT, $1 Million Roundtable, actually. And there's like 6,000 financial professionals, and at that big stage, and there's like this big gap between football fields length stage and where the beginning of the first row of the audience is a big gap and all the big lights. So you can imagine, you've been in a convention center like that. And I saw him walk off that stage, go right into the audience, go right up to some of those financial professionals, put his hand on their shoulder and ask the whole crowd and go, do you want to know this one thing that will double your business? He speaks in a Southern accent. I don't do a very good Southern accent, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. He goes, do you want to know this one thing that'll double your business? This one thing. You want to know? And then he said, smile when you talk. Because when you smile, it's like business 101A, it's sales 101A, right? When you smile when you talk, they're smiling too. You say, you want to buy from me, right? And they're like, yes, they're nodding. No, it's all done in fun and play. But the point of it is that you smile when you talk, that creates that rapport, that lifts up your energy, and it opens up and magnetizes that connection. So like we were talking with Betsy, she's having to talk about something that's a little sensitive, but so she's speaking with a smile from this place of hope and compassion. You're talking about something that one could call boring if they wanted, but no, you're speaking from the excitement of what's possible for you when you can conquer your books and really have ownership. And so, you know, their people are going to be in your energy in your workshop, or when they're working with you as a CPA. People don't understand how important that is. Often, you know, we might go, okay, whatever, I have to work with this person, but, you know, I just get through it because I want it. But if I'm going to work with someone and I love and can feel who they are, I'm all the more going to be compelled to want to hire them or work with them. Okay. There really is a lot to that. They're okay. Really, you want to also make sure that you've got the person with the skills and the understanding. So I'm not glossing that over, but I'm saying it makes a difference if I can feel like, wow, I can feel this person and she knows her stuff. Well, then I want to work with her over someone, they know their stuff, but I don't quite feel them. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So smile when you talk. All right. And that is for everybody watching. Huge difference. All right. Okay. P is to play with how you say it. Play with how you say it. And what I mean by that is you don't get rigid and feel like you have to hit one target like we were talking about before. There's a myriad of ways it could come out. And when you have a sense of playfulness under the surface, that frees you up, but also play with how you say it. So in other words, I didn't just say play with how you say it.
Right.
Play with how you say it. I also didn't think play with how you say it. That's coming from a thinking place rather than a feeling and playful place. So we'll see this in action, okay?
Okay.
How you say it. And then E is for the energy with which you speak. That's what they're connecting to, as we talked about earlier on in here. That is your driving force. The energy of how you speak is the engine of how you connect and makes that impact. So that energy with how you speak, that passion, that fire, that conviction, and that energy of who you are. All right. Then A is to authentically amplify. Authentically amplify. And what I mean by that, and by the way, I'm doing this for everybody, not just Barbara. So as you're watching, you guys, this is for everybody. And in fact, I'll just so to make you comfortable, Barbara, I'll come right back to you, but you're still here, okay?
Okay.
So A is to authentically amplify. And what I mean by that is to treat it like an actor's exercise in a way. This is a great way, and I come from Broadway, TV, films, I come from that whole world of media. And this is a great exercise to discover and find what's possible, what level you can go to, what you might not have ever tapped into had you not been willing to explore. And that comes out of being willing to explore, doing it what they call over the top. But the thing is with the speaking, authentically amplify. So that means from a connected place first, and then amp up the level of how you would do it, maybe way beyond what you would normally do, but just see how that feels from a connected place. Then it works. If it's not from a connected place, it won't work. It'll read and feel false. But when it's from that connected place and now you amp it up, it's so powerful. So for an example, Les Brown, who most of us know, is a world famous motivational speaker, and he has one of his key phrases that I'm going to totally botch. If you guys were there at the speaking thing for Trish, you saw, and if not, you're about to experience it. But Les Brown has this key phrase that he says, and it electrifies the audience, and he says it like this: "You gotta be hungry." All right. So bad, I'm bad. But when he does it, and you're in the audience, you're like, wow, you just feel the electricity of it. You gotta be hungry. You're just like, oh my gosh, yes. You can feel the power of it. But if you were inside Les Brown's body, you would feel like it's too much. But it's not. It's this electrifying connector. It drives that audience past everything. So that's authentically amplified, okay? And then K is to KNOW, know who you are. Know who you are. KNOW, know who you are. And what I mean by that is two things. One is to not try to do it like somebody else. Be and honor how it comes through you while taking on all that we're talking about here, playing with it, authentically amplifying it, smiling, being who you are within this approach, but not you, Barbara, trying to be like Trish, or Trish trying to be like you, or you trying to be like me, or me trying to be like you. If Wayne Dyer, if you know who he is, if he had tried to be like Tony Robbins, that wouldn't translate. Or Tony Robbins like Wayne Dyer, not work. Same thing with Tina Turner. When they were grooming Tina Turner back in the day, they were trying to turn her into Diana Ross. Can you imagine all that fire and passion and energy just bottled up to baby love, my baby love? It just wouldn't work. And thank goodness Tina Turner was like, no, I'm doing my thing, because she's still going all these years later, and so much fire and passion. But the opposite is true too. Diana Ross trying to be like Tina Turner wouldn't work and doesn't work. Like, big wheel keep on turning, strawberry keep on burning. It just wouldn't work, So how it comes through you. And then the other part of know who you are is it's like that cat looking in the mirror and a lion's looking back. And to know that there's so much more available to you than you could ever know or have any idea. And no matter what level you're playing at, you might already be at the top level of your game, and yet there's even more always available to you. You might be completely locked and shut away and feeling, it feels impossible, and yet there is so much more for you to go and be that may not feel like it right now, but it's all there for you. And that's what I love about this work too, because that brings that out, right? So I'm going to bring you back on so I'm not solo here so we can see you.
Okay.
I just want to make you comfortable, like you're sitting here listening to me while I share through this.
That's great.
But that's the Speak formula, and we'll try it on with some coaching levels. And anyone who might also want to jump into the hot seat, I haven't seen someone else say that, so you may be our last person unless someone else says they want to. So we'll try this on with you. Okay, so speak formula is smile when you talk. S, smile when you talk. P, play with how you say it. E, the energy with which you speak. A, authentically amplify. And K, to know who you are. And by the way, if y'all go to linrose.com/NSA, National Speakers Association, linrose.com/NSA, you just give me your email and I will send you the handout for today with the 3 C's, the speak formula, also the 5 openings for video, also give you a song that I'll send you. So that way we make sure that, you've got this in front of you in addition to whatever notes. Okay, so let's try this on, shall we, Barbara? Okay,
right.
Fabulous. And I'm trying, you guys feel free to comment. Last comment I see is Sherry Rose's comment, but feel free to comment. I might just not be seeing them because sometimes that happens in BeLive.tv, but we're going to do our best. All right, Barbara, cheer you on. So okay. Don't even worry about trying to get the words right. You have the general concept right now of what we talked about and how to position it. I want you to try this on. So just, in fact, don't even worry about it. I will play with you and coach through it. So now it might only do 30 seconds before we start playing with it. It's just a matter of timing and time.
Okay. Okay. So I empower entrepreneurs to really get a handle on their finances and help them work smarter, not harder. So I think sometimes entrepreneurs think that accounting is boring and all those numbers just don't mean anything, and they sort of set that stuff aside. But it's so important to the profitability of your company. It's getting a handle on your pricing. It's being able to be bigger in the world that I know entrepreneurs want to do. You went into entrepreneurship because you wanted to own your own business and you wanted to bring something to the world. And I want to help you do that. And a big part of that is getting a really good handle on the numbers that are in your business.
Okay. So great. Awesome. You were smiling. You were
okay.
It did feel like you might have been speaking from a messaging point of what you've done before.
Right.
More than the things that we were playing with now. You were eventually starting to go there, but that's okay. Again, I was saying don't worry about the messaging right now because we want to play with how you do it, right?
Okay.
And so what you did was great, but now we get to play with it.
Okay.
And let's even play a little bit with messaging.
Okay.
So, what if you didn't have, what if you knew every aspect of your business, you were so clear on your numbers, where you were going, where you are now, that if anything that might happen, you felt solid about how you'd handle it. Might that give you an even greater freedom in how you feel in your business, how you feel about yourself, the ownership you have around your business, how you even feel in your connection to God.
Right. Got it. Okay.
How you type in, but try to start with something like that, and then going into the more technicalities of why it's important or what happens or specifically what you do. So, so let's just start from that place, still trying on how you're going to speak, and then we're going to play with it.
Okay. So what if you knew that, that's hard. I've never done it from that perspective. Okay.
I know, think, now here's the thing. Instead of trying to find the right words, think into the feeling of that. There's a million ways to say it. There's no one right way to say it right now.
Okay.
So really think into the feeling of that. And just imagine, Barbara, when you've worked with someone and now you've seen where their before and their after was in their books. I'm sure you have plenty of people like that, right?
Okay. Right.
Like I think about that with my wow. I can be with someone, I know how they are on the other side. If I feel into what that breakthrough is like, I can absolutely speak into the power of wow without trying to get the exact right words. You right now just feel into this sense of what we want to say, but not try to find the exact right words. Just feel into it and see what that's like, and just say it to me.
Okay. So what if instead of looking at those financial reports, it wasn't just a mess of numbers and you actually really knew what they meant, and that you could make really good decisions with those numbers and be able to grow your business the way that you want to, that you'd be able to price your price your products correctly. You'd actually make more money. You'd be able to work smarter and not harder. What if we could get? What if we could? How would that feel to really know what that was all about?
Okay, great. Now, I want you to know, especially from the beginning, I felt you. I actually really could feel you talking to me, and you really were talking to me, because I know I'm in your target market right now. And how did it feel for you in approaching it that way?
It felt more like I feel like I do this really well one-on-one, but I feel like I have to do something different, I guess, from stage. And I guess that's where the disconnect for me has been.
Yes.
That, because like I had this whole conversation with somebody yesterday at a church, and I'm, oh my gosh, you're going to just love what you see. You're going to be able to know that this location makes different money than this location, and where the, all of that was. And he's like, and he even said to me, he goes, I just love how excited you get about this stuff. So I feel like I do that okay one-on-one, but when I get into that speaker mode, I feel like I change.
And that's what we're here to do, is to speaker mode. So when you go to speak in front of the group, and this is for everybody, so this is speaking for a lot of people. And by the way, I don't know if you saw the comments, wonderful comments coming in. Betsy says, perfect. Yeah, Barbara. And Les Patterson says, very good information. The formulas will help better structure my, that was for, thank you very much, Les. And Betsy said, great job, Barbara. What a difference. And so if you look at the group that you're going to speak at, just like you're talking to me, and really feeling them on the other side, the freedom they're going to experience when they can have their books in order. What you're giving to them is huge. So when you speak to, and they just don't even know it. They don't even know to what degree it's running like a weed under the surface. Believe me, this is coming from me who knows now. The surface it was in my business, and how that was choking off possibility for me. Way to go. I got the point, Barbara, says Mario. Mario, yes, awesome. So it drives home the point. It was really great. So I want you to do that same feeling when you're facing the group. It is a one-on-one conversation. It just happens to be with 10 people or 50 people or 500 or 5,000. But you look for that one person and talk to that one person, then another person, maybe even walk right up to them. That will break the fourth wall barrier for you and for them. For me, I love walking in and among, especially a smaller group, but even big groups. But because it takes away the specter of, I'm on stage and you're out there. Watch me. In fact, you don't want to be the sage on the stage. You want to be the guide on the side. Love that expression. I don't even know where I heard it long ago, but that is exactly what's true. Lisa Buckaloo says, great job, Betsy and Barbara. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Lisa. So hopefully that's helpful. I just keep
helpful. Thank you.
That speak formula and practice and take what we were doing messaging wise here. If you want to join us in the WOW Mastermind group, we will dive inside and take those 90 days and make sure you've now got that structure, that flow. We'll get you in hot seats. We'll get all of that for you. Okay.
Love it.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Barbara. This was great, and it's awesome work here.
Your help.
Thank you. All right. A round of applause for Barbara, everybody. Woo! Yay, Barbara! She was laughing as she was leaving. Bye, Barbara. So I want to say this to you guys, and I'll bring Trish on here in the end here as well, okay? And we are wrapping up, but stay with me here. So I want to say to you guys, put this into action. What's something you will do in the next 24 hours? Because it's one thing to absorb and get this information. Now you need to synthesize it and put it into action. So, yes, you can go to wowyoursuccess.com and be part of the WOW Mastermind. That's absolutely one of the ways that you can take action. Another way I invite you to take action right now in this next 24 hours is to get in front of your phone and make a video and practice. Put into practice. Give yourself that permission to play. Try on the speak formula. Try on everything you just learned and make a video. Try on some of the things you started finding around messaging and make a video. And if you're daring enough, even post it. But don't even worry about you're going to post it or not. But practice. Practice with it elevated, how that feels. trying. We didn't even get to some of the speaking coaching that you get to see, where I have people break out of their shells, so they do this, and now, or they laugh. There's different ways we can be able to get you to explode, and maybe we'll do another one of these hot seat trainings just to play with folks, so you can see some of these different ways we can get there. Thank you. Carol says to Barbara, magnificence, Barbara. And Mario, thank you, Lynn, doing this first time, watching your blessing to us all. Thank you. So, so just make a commitment. What are you going to do in the next 24 hours to synthesize and move this forward? At the very least, create that video and move that forward. Review your notes. Definitely invite you to, as I said before, and this is my passion. I know what happens. The vortex that gets created in the 90 days together, because when you are surrounded by folks that have that same aim and intention and holding with you, and we get to be in the energy with each other for 90 days on working on your messaging, on your speaking delivery, on your signature program, finding what your signature process is if you don't have it already, nailing down your branding if you don't have that already, and ways of getting yourself out there too, which there's many different resources and ways, but it all plays together so that you really wow your speaking and launching success. All right, and I would love to have you join. It's at wowyoursuccess.com. I'm going to quickly just share that to broadcast so that you can see. One more time, there we are, wowyoursuccess.com. And you can just scroll through and read all about it here. And if, bear in mind, what I'm giving you here is, make this go away, is the friends and family link. So it takes it 30%, 33% or 40% off, some big number off for you. And it's giving a bonus one-on-one session. Now, in just one session, folks have had massive breakthroughs. I've had people say that in just one session, they got more out of that one session than marketing teams they've spent thousands of dollars in however many months with. So, lots of value there. And I invite you to do that. I also do one-on-one, only a handful, VIP. That's something you're interested in, you can let me know. But let me bring Trish back on, because this is inspired and put on, thank you to Women's Prosperity Network. And I got to work with their people a week or so ago. I forget how long ago it was now.
And today, Barbara and Betsy both were in, just became certified professional speakers in that program. So, yeah, perfect. Everybody in the program that you worked with last week was just certified. But here's my message. No matter how many times you've been speaking in the past, no matter if you've been certified in a training class or a seminar, there's nothing that gets you to the perfection that you can have with your speaking. Nothing works as well as incremental change. And what I love about your program, Lynn Rose, is that it's incremental change. It's work on this week. Let me see you do it. Wow, you did it really well. Fabulous. Keep practicing that, because it's only perfect practice that makes perfect. So when you go to a seminar, you're out there and you think you're doing well, and you may be doing well, but imagine if you had this kind of one-on-one help from this incredible trainer, speaker, entertainer, as well as the mastermind with the other people who are all going for it, who are all growing their dreams, who are all making it happen now. Imagine at the end of this 90 days that you actually have your signature speech exactly where you want it to be, that you've practiced your platform skills so that people are actually influenced and saying, yes, I want what you have. Imagine what's available for you just to give yourself a small amount of time every week to get it done. Because the reality is, you may want to do it and you know it takes a chunk of time, but finding that chunk of time is the issue. So when you say yes to yourself, this is it, I'm doing it, and you do it in small incremental changes, it actually works. So I urge you to go to wowyoursuccess.com and be a part of this incredible mastermind. Not only will you connect with Lynn Rose, but you're also going to make a host of new amazing friends who will turn out to be business referrals, partnerships, strategic alliances, people that will support you in growing and expanding outside of where you are. Lynn Rose, thank you so much for what you bring to the table, for the contribution that you are, for being my friend. I love you. I appreciate you. And thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your expertise with the Women's Prosperity Network community. I hope all of you who are watching check out womensprosperitynetwork.com and go to wowyoursuccess.com and find out what's available to you right now. Thank you, Lynn.
Trish, you're so wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. I so agree. Trish, even I brought Trish in. She's brilliant at, strategy. Well, she's brilliant at many things, but she came in and helped speak around strategy to my Wow Mastermind. Now, Wow Mastermind is normally all me with you, but every now and then I'll bring in, as a bonus, a guest speaker, and that's all only in addition to what we do. So whatever way that can be of support, whether that's, for your LinkedIn strategy or for your whatever might be needed. But thank you, because this is my heart, my love, creating that wow effect. What happens? People getting speaking bookings, getting their message out there, getting to feel that on fire. Like once you take your foot off the brake or switch that switch, you are off and running. And to have that and that support, and you made a really good point. When we make that commitment, we now have our feet to the fire to follow through. And so when you have that 90-day vortex, you're now implementing, you're now moving forward, and you have that energy driving you forward than if you were on your own. And I know that for myself, that I need support that moves that forward. You're inside the jar, you can't see the outside of the label. You also get that part of the piece that helps you move forward. So thank you so much. Love to work with anyone that this is resonant with. Trish, I love and adore you. And I love that Nancy Matthews too, which is your partner and Women Prosperity Network. And all the lovely ladies I got to work with and gentlemen.
That's right.
That we worked with before. We have gentlemen in our Wow Mastermind too. And I just want to thank you so much. And one final thought, and this is really important to know, no matter where you are, no matter how long you've been at the road or working at it, or maybe it hasn't clicked in until now or yet, or it still hasn't clicked in, to know that, as George Eliot said, it's never too late to become who you might have been. Never too late to become who you might have been. Doesn't matter. You've tried, it hasn't worked out yet. It's never too late. I had Arsen Marsubian, whom I love and adore. Too long of a story to go in deep detail, but he was 77 years old and had been in the seminar circuit for 10 years, spinning his wheels, trying and just never getting traction, going to all those trainings, but it wasn't clicking until finally at 77, he came to me and said, it's time to cash in or check out. And worked with him, got the right branding, got his spirit to come out instead of being all this way, and created this media for him that then literally before he even had a site or a book yet, got to share this video that showed him in action. And it was created by being in action and implementing. And right then and there, he got a pre-order of 100 books before the book was even done. And he got a sponsorship deal. And ever since then now, he's now 82. He's written 4 books. He just had his 4th book come out. He's got his own mastermind that he's doing. He's been in all sorts of media across the States. Fox News, you name it. So it's never too late. Just know that it's never too late. So anyway, it was wonderful to be here. And thanks to everyone who was with us or watching the replay. Sheree Martin said, love the information, working the speaking skills. To Carol Wilkinson, thank you. And to Barbara and to Betsy and to Trish and to everyone here. So thank you so much. And just be off and running. What are you going to do in those next 24 hours? It matters. All right. Much love. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Trish.
Bye-bye. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.